because, what we talked about, what are we doing to extend financial freedom in the Black community? And then that extra question was, what are we doing to extend financial freedom through business ownership?
Yep.
So I think that's a powerful thing. We approach this work as trying to help build institutions, institution building. A business is an institution, just like a church, just like a government, just like any corporation. So, and that institution becomes a vehicle to advance your freedom. So the way, we work in OMI, I'm the African American Business Development Manager. The way I approach the work is, my job is to help build strong, independent Black institutions that are self-determining and can establish success for themselves. That's my job. So, how are we doing that? We've done something really special through our programming. Every month, we do outreach programming to build capacity, partnering with our Small Business Development Center network to bring in subject matter experts to teach people about accounting, about marketing, about operations, about how to extend social capital, about how to create a process to pivot during a pandemic and build a strong, independent institution that's self-determining. So when we have those businesses, we're protected. It's like armor. When you're independent, you're more resilient. The less you have to lean on something, if they kick that up from underneath you, you're gonna fall. But we can stand on our own too and service our people, and be creative and connect through collaborations and intervene with solutions. That's how we extend our freedom. So a big part of what we do is helping to build strong, independent businesses that determine for themselves what success looks like.
And just to add to that, man, I think, you said that very, very wonderfully. Arielle, you asked, what would we ask from businesses? And I think that's important. And what I've noticed from my year and 7 months, in this role is that a lot of Black businesses are fearful that they won't get the funds. They're fearful that, this isn't designed for me. They're fearful that I might lose money that I know that's guaranteed spending this time on a grant application that I'm not gonna get, or it ain't worth me getting BEP certified because I'm not gonna win a contract anyway. And what I would leave you all with is, do not lead in fear. We did not get this far to lead in fear. You've got 4 Black government leaders telling you, who come from the communities that you come from, that these programs are for you and we're here to help you. So they may not be for us by us, but they're for us by others. And so with that being said, I just want to leave that with you all, because again, if our ancestors led in fear, we wouldn't have been free on Juneteenth. If our ancestors led in fear, we wouldn't be celebrating economic freedom that happened 100 years ago in Tulsa. And if we continue to lead in fear, we won't meet the next generation of Black entrepreneurs, because it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we're trailblazing and paving that way for the future generation. So that's what I'll leave with folks.
Okay. Like no pressure on my end. Said like a true alpha man.
You fine, okay? Listen, I don't know how I follow that up, but to say I agree. We can't lead or make decisions from a place of fear at all. But I would also just say, I'm going to challenge what you said, Jonathan, because I think it is for us by us, because if you look at the fact that even on today's conversation, we have leaders that are helping to set policy. It won't always be this way. It has not always been this way. And if you don't apply it at the website that we're going to share with you later, it may not be that way in the future.
That's real.
But seriously, we have to develop a pipeline, right? You can't become a millionaire. I guess you can, but most people aren't becoming a millionaire overnight. We have to work at it. And not that it's always about money, but when we talk about choices and freedom, when we talk about being able to really make decisions that are the best decisions for ourselves and for our families, and not from a place of fear, but because all of the opportunities are available to us, and we don't have to shrink, and we don't have to say, well, oh, I have to take this into consideration, I have to take that into consideration, but we can truly decide that's the job I want, and that's the job that I feel qualified to get. Part of my job is to make sure we're building systems and we're building practices and policies that take the bias out of the selection process, which we know exists in almost every selection process, right? Because humans are involved, even when technology is involved, so that we get the most qualified candidate for the role. And there will be times it may not be me, it may not be you, but it just might be. It just might be. And I think Jonathan's point about, well, I probably will never get it, I shouldn't try. Let me tell you something. There are so many conversations I've had, comments, personally and professionally, on the business side, on the job front, where someone got something because they were the person that wait to raise their hand and say, I want that. Don't let the opportunities pass you by. I hate hearing we have unspent money. I hate hearing the PTACs, while they have a lot to do, they have more capacity because no one's taking them up on their offer. I hate hearing that we only had 1 or 2 respondents in a procurement process. There's no reason for that to be the case. You may not win everything, right? But there's value in trying, and you will win something. And so I just want to strongly encourage someone, you're like, well, where do I go? Where do I start, right? BP is launching a new website. CMS has a new website. So it's much easier to find content online. We have a new job system, as I mentioned, and we will flash up the website on the screen, so you all will be able to go there. You can register. You can create your own profiles so that you can apply for jobs more seamlessly. And then when it comes to BEP/CMS, follow us on Facebook, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on our website. Arielle would say you can follow us when we have a weekly newsletter, so you can sign up for that on the website. But if I were to leave the group, the audience, with just like my last thought, our ancestors couldn't imagine, or maybe they could imagine, what freedom could look like. And in the last however many years, because I think a lot of people could talk about a lot of time frames that look different for different people, so I'm just going to say a lot of years. In some cases, we've made progress. In some cases, we have not. But today, you have 4 individuals in leadership positions of the state of Illinois that are telling you about procurement. We're talking about economic development. We're talking about, hiring. Take us up on the offer. Take us up on the challenge. Ask the question. Connect the dot. If there's a resource that you want us to connect to, let us know. That's part of our job, to connect with resources and to be in your communities. But I would just say, don't hear today's conversation and not do something. And if the something is sharing the link, God bless. If the something is registering online, great. But don't do nothing.
You're muted, Matthew. You got to start over.
I want to tap in by saying that I agree that, I think that our ancestors could imagine freedom because that's why they fought for us. You know what I mean? And I think that, Brother Jonathan said, if they would have led in fear, we wouldn't have celebrated Juneteenth. We forced their hand. Nobody has ever given us anything. So we just got to understand how powerful we are. So that's my call to action. I just need you to remember, you're not a victim. We've been victimized in history, but that's not who we are. We're powerful. And another reason for us to celebrate is this creativity that we have and this culture that produced us to be problem solvers, to be innovators, to be solution oriented, and to serve our people. Everything that we do is kind of crazy. We tend to do it together. We tend to do it in community, and we're going to come up together as we always have done. Think about $1.4 trillion in buying power. 2019 statistic, Black community in America, $1.4 trillion in buying power. That's a good thing, that's a bad thing. It's a lot of opportunity with those dollars that we can leverage. We still got a lot of work to do. Considering all this power that we have to spend, we got a lot of work to do to leverage that, point it towards ourselves. That's the ask, make sure you're spending your time, money, and energy the right way to get free. And we're doing it together. Together meaning the team, the family that's on this call with you, and the people to your left and right in your community. That's how we're gonna come up.
Thank you. In closing, I have 3 actions for both my colleagues within state government and my colleagues across the state who are doing this work. And not necessarily you signed up to do the work of equity and inclusion, but you are impacting the progress. And so and this also goes to businesses to engage, share, and to execute. And so for my colleagues, engaging means if you don't understand, you're participating to learn. You're asking the questions and you're doing the work to be informed. And then you're sharing that information with your colleagues and with the individuals that you work with or the businesses that you may impact in your daily work. And then you're going to execute any strategies that we have placed forward, any best practices that BEP has outlined or DCEO has outlined, that you're going to execute that with excellence. Again, with the mission of equity, representation, inclusion. You know, we say DE&I, but it's so many other things, right? And so that is the challenge that I have for my colleagues who may be watching this in hopes to continue your work and to make additional impact. And for businesses, that, you know, is super straightforward what that engage, share, and execute means for you. So make sure you're engaging with the amazing work that DCEO is doing. You are applying for the grants and you are looking to see what that means. You're reaching out to Matthew and Jonathan's teams to ask the questions, and then you're sharing it with the other businesses that you work with. You're sharing the links of this video, right? And then you're going to execute. You're going to go forward. You're going to go back and look at your business model and see how can you apply the great things that you've learned from BEP capacity building. DCEO has even shared amazing capacity building content and applying that to your business and reinvesting that into yourselves. And so please engage, share, and execute to both my colleagues and the businesses that I so passionately serve, that everyone on this call so passionately serves. And I want to thank DCEO, Matthew and Jonathan, and my amazing director, Director Forde, for being here with us this month for June as we celebrate Juneteenth. And we will continue this work well beyond Juneteenth and the month of June. So thank you.